Hey everybody, George Zimney here with Zeal Financial Group. Welcome to our Corporate Spotlight. We're going to go ahead and get things kicked off. Quick heads up, all you need today is something to take notes on, a good clear audio connection. You do not need your webcam. Everybody's line is on mute to reduce background noise. So what I'd like to do to kind of kick things off is more formally introduce myself, both from a personal and from a professional standpoint. Tell you a little bit about my background and what brought me into this career path, and then tell you and kind of introduce you to my family as well. So starting from a career standpoint, let me tell you first, I want to point out two what I think are very important things to point out about myself. Number one, when I looked into pursuing this career, this was in September of 2009, when I interviewed to work with our parent company, which is called Family Heritage out of Cleveland, Ohio. I was residing in Columbia, Missouri. I've always been around and grew up in the central Missouri market. I actually grew up in a small town called Ashland, Missouri. My family and I now live in Columbia. I actually had to fly to Houston, Texas for an interview because there literally was not a full-time representative or recruiting department within the state of Missouri. And again, that was about 5.5 or so years ago, September of 2009. So a lot has changed since then. We've achieved a lot of growth across a multi-state market within this Midwest community. And that's what I'm excited to bring to you today and share with you today. So the second thing to put in perspective is I came into this career path without any type of industry or related experience. I literally knew nothing about what Family Heritage did. I knew nothing about the industry. I did not maintain or carry any type of license whatsoever. I had a background and a lot of business experience, a college degree, but as far as anything pertaining to my applicable career, I had no knowledge whatsoever. So two things. I was the first full-time representative in the state, and I got started knowing nothing. And so a lot of you are probably in that same boat. So let me tell you a little bit about the growth of our agency from September of 2009 to present. So just to put it in perspective, we had 2 reps in 2010. In 2010, the fiscal year, we did about $250,000 in revenue. To finish up the fiscal year of 2014, Zeal finished with over $1.64 million. We now have 33 full-time and very active representatives, from team leaders to sales professionals, office managers, recruiters, and then we have 1 sales director, myself, within this agency. And what I did was I promoted from an entry-level sales position with Family Heritage within, and was promoted to a sales director within about 2.5 years. And as a sales director, one has the opportunity to create their own culture and essentially brand their own agency. And our agency is called Zeal Financial Group. And so what we're looking for now is individuals that are passionate and driven to grow with a growing company. And we're really looking for the right professionals to grow across the states of Missouri, Kansas, Western, and Southern Illinois. And that's what leads us right into this call. So from a personal standpoint, I'm very happily married to a woman named Stephanie K. Zimney. My wife, Stephanie, is a cardiac ICU nurse at the University of Missouri Hospital. We have 2 beautiful little girls, Raylan Zimney and Adeline Zimney, and then we have a dog named Maya. We also, again, like I mentioned earlier, reside here in Columbia, Missouri. So that's a little bit about my career background, a little bit about my family background. Again, I welcome you to our Corporate Spotlight, folks. Today, I'm going to give you a brief overview of many different angles within this career opportunity and tell you a lot about our company. This is the pre-interview step in the process. So today, sit back, relax. Today is really the opportunity for you to absorb a lot of information that I'm going to provide to you, and then we'll talk about the possibility of an interview going into the future. So what I'm actually going to do is pause the webcam, and we're going to get right into the PowerPoint on the screen. Okay, so the first slide that you see, it says Corporate Spotlight, Zeal Financial Group. And again, I would encourage you to jot down our website at zealfinance.com. And the first thing I really want to bring y'all up to speed on is the interview process. And it is just that. It is a process, so definitely be patient with it. Part number 1 is what we're doing right now. Following this Corporate Spotlight within the next hour to 12 hours at the very, very most, you'll receive a call back from a regional recruiter or myself personally to look at the possibility of scheduling a second interview. Part number 2 is where we get into the details of the position. So folks, part number 2 is going to be an interview that goes into the next day. And that's going to be one-on-one in more of an interview context or an interview format where we'll have the opportunity to learn a lot more about you. We have a ton of questions for you as a candidate, but we're also going to give you a lot more information about us. And then part number 3, if invited back, this is a third and final meeting. We'll meet one-on-one and we'll bring you physically into our regional office, the most local regional office to where you live and you reside. And that's where we'll determine the next step. So the note at the very bottom says we're looking for a perfect match. That's about as transparent and upfront as I can put it. I want to be very clear, folks. We are not the company or the agency that hires everybody that comes through our door. We do not hire everybody that we meet with. We're actually very selective, and that's why we have a fairly long and thorough interview process. And I'll tell you in a minute exactly what we're looking for in a candidate and what it takes to be successful with our company in this career path. But in your defense, this career is not for everybody. I'll repeat, this career is not for everybody. So at the end of this corporate spotlight, or maybe at the end of your first or second or final interview, you may determine, and a lot of you will determine, that this is not what you're looking for. I completely respect that decision on your end as well. So I just want to be very upfront. Again, we're very selective, but at the same time, this career is not for everybody. At the end of the day, we're looking for that perfect match between what you're looking for and for your future and what our company is looking for to help grow our company and better our future as well. So today we're going to cover 5 main topics. And I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on every topic, but I certainly will not give you every detail just from a time standpoint. All the details beyond what I introduced to you in these simple topics about our company, all the great detail will be explained and thoroughly covered in the actual interview process starting tomorrow and moving forward over the next several days. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about is our company. I'll give you a brief overview of our company and some websites that you can learn a lot more about our company over the next 24 hours or so leading up to that interview. I'm also going to tell you what we look for or what it takes to be successful from your end. Number 2, we'll talk about our products, and this is where I'm definitely most passionate. And the reason why is because we have such a strong focus on cancer. I have several family members as we speak that are going through cancer or are in remission. So it's definitely something that very much so hits home to me in my life and my family. I'm going to talk to you about our system, how we prospect, how we sell, the different phases of laying the foundation or really developing a foundation to grow a strong and stable career off of. I'm going to talk to you, point number 4, about our compensation or the financial side of this opportunity. And then number 5, we'll wrap up with training. We're very proud of our training. We offer excellent and very thorough corporate training, classroom training, as well as field training and ongoing mentorship and development of individuals and new representatives. And then we also offer an unlimited growth or advancement opportunity. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what exactly that entails. So the first topic, let me tell you a little bit more about our companies. The first company I've mentioned already, Zeal Financial Group. All we do, folks, is represent the nationwide parent company called Family Heritage. We represent their amazing line of products. I'll get into that here in a minute. But again, just to put it in perspective, in 2012, we had 2 representatives in the central Missouri market. In 2014, we finished the year with over 33 full-time representatives across multiple Midwest markets. We've grown every single year that we've been an agency, again, starting in 2009. We have 3 physical offices. We have a regional recruitment office in Columbia, Missouri. We have an office in St. Louis, which we just opened up because of our growth in St. Louis. We have an office in eastern Kansas and the Chanute, Pittsburgh, Kansas markets. We're looking to double our office space, our office footprint by 2017, and then look at growing and expanding beyond that. So Family Heritage, let me tell you a little bit about our parent company. Founded in 1989. I encourage you to do a ton of research into Family Heritage. They're a 25-year leader in what's called the supplemental benefits industry. As a nationwide company, they function in 49 states, over 300,000 policy owners nationwide. They're approaching $750 million in assets. And folks, to put it in perspective, this is a company that started with a $3 million private investment back in 1989, and they've grown that $3 million investment to almost $750 million in assets. They've had 24 out of 25 years of growth. We've grown at such a consistent pace that about 2.5 years ago we went public in partnership with a global holding company called Torchmark. And their stock symbol is TMK, so they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. They're about $19 billion in assets, founded in 1900, so over 115 years in business. So needless to say, we have a very stable, growing, and cash-rich parent, both with Family Heritage and with Torchmark. Family Heritage receives an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. They're an accredited business, and they're A-rated with AM Best, which is about as strong as a young company can achieve as far as financial stability and strength goes. So again, that's a little bit about our companies. So now we're going to totally change gear, folks. I want to tell you what we look for. I definitely encourage you to write down these four characteristics that we look for in a candidate. Number one, we look for somebody with a strong work ethic. Please note, this is a full-time career path. This is not a gig. It's not on the side of something else. If you're pursuing a full-time college workload, we cannot consider you as a candidate. We're looking for individuals that have the desire and the ability to work on a full-time basis, Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 hours a day. Number two, look for somebody who's coachable. Please understand that just like me, coming into this career, most people that we work with, matter of fact, most people we interview have never done what we do. So we look for somebody who's willing to be coachable and learn something new. Number three, we look for somebody who's self-driven. And what we mean by self-driven is we look for somebody who has the discipline to have a self-starter type of mentality. They don't need to be micromanaged. We do not micromanage people. We empower people. We provide positive reinforcement. We're a culture built on recognition of achievements and recognition of accomplishments, not just results, but a lot of different achievements. And then number four, we look for somebody with a fire in the gut. This is a genuine passion to make a better life for your future and for your family. And then also, someone who's genuinely passionate, that fire in the gut to help people. They want to service people. So again, those are the four main characteristics that we look for in a candidate. And again, none of them have anything to do with your background or track record of success in selling or business. If you have a background in sales, if you have a background in business ownership or management, that's great. The learning curve should be shorter. If you don't, that's great as well. We'll definitely consider you as a candidate if you possess the four main characteristics on the screen. So now I'm going to talk to you about our products, and this is where I have the most fun talking about. It's not a great topic whenever you're talking about cancer and illness, but what we do and the service that we offer to families and business owners across the U.S. and especially focused on our Midwest markets is very exciting. And so again, to reiterate, we proudly represent one line of products through a company called Family Heritage. And so let me kind of put it in perspective what we are not. We have nothing to do with Medicare supplemental. We have nothing to do with health insurance or home and auto, which is property and casualty. What we offer, folks, is a full line, a comprehensive line of cancer, ICU, heart and stroke, accident, hospital, and life. One thing you want to make note of on this page is 90% of our business, therefore 90% of the conversation to the prospect is talking about cancer. So the big question is, why cancer? There are three main reasons why, and they're very logical, so try to soak these in. Number one is because a ton of people are going through cancer completely unexpectedly nowadays. The experts define cancer in the U.S. as an epidemic. It's gotten that bad. It's almost out of control. And it does not discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're old or young or what the color of your skin is, or male or female, healthy or unhealthy, overweight, underweight. It's cancer. It doesn't discriminate whatsoever. And any of you that have ever known somebody close to you that's been through cancer would agree 100% with the statements I'm making. Because you get it, because you've seen it. No one predicted it would affect them the day it did affect them. And so number one is it affects a lot of people, especially in the U.S. Number two is the financial side. And on the financial side, Most people have no idea how financially devastating cancer is. Statistically, cancer is the #1 cause of bankruptcy due to illness. #1. It's not number 50. It's not just another illness, another thing that may affect people. It is wiping families out financially in the U.S. markets. The #1 most financially devastating. It's the #1 cause of bankruptcy as far as illness goes. The third reason why we focus so much on cancer is because flat out most people don't prepare for it. Very few folks in their entire life, from families in their 50s to 70s to 20s to an individual in their early 30s, very few people in their entire life have ever woken up, stretched and yawned and said, you know what? Today's the day that I'm going to talk about a backup plan just in case I go through cancer tomorrow. What would I do if I wasn't working for the next year? What would I do if I had to go to Houston, Texas for the next 6 months of treatments that could save my life? Or what would I have to come back home to after I beat that illness? What would life look like? And how would the financial aspect affect my life? Very few people are prepared for it. It's just not something that we naturally wake up thinking about. If we're not thinking about it, we're not talking about it. Therefore, we're not having that important conversation of how we would prepare for it if, God forbid, it did affect somebody in our family. So the next few slides, I'm going to walk you through just a brief overview of our cancer plan. Again, it represents one of many products that we offer, but it's the bread and butter of what we focus on. And so the policy is actually called Cancer Care Plus. And the first thing our representatives do when they're meeting with a group or a business or employees or an individual or a family member is they sit down and they talk about the statistics, the reality of the world that we live in now. So statistically, cancer will affect somebody in 3 out of 4 families at some point in their life. It's 1 in 2 men, 1 in 3 women. And the most shocking stat to me as a young father is in children ages 1 to 14, cancer represents the second leading cause of death in kids. I think that's absolutely crazy that cancer affects as many kids as it does nowadays. So this slide is probably the most important slide I could share with you all today to help you understand where we fit in, where the demand is for what we do. And so everybody that goes through cancer will go through 2 types of costs. They will incur 2 types of costs. On the left-hand side is direct costs. So if, God forbid, I went through something like prostate cancer tomorrow, I would have hospital bills, doctor bills, medical charges. That's what my health insurance pays for. They pay the hospitals and doctors as I'm going through that treatment schedule, for the most part. So we do not talk to people about that. Health insurance plays its role. What we talk about is on the right-hand side. It's called the indirect cost. You definitely want to write down on your notes, the indirect costs are equivalent to the unexpected costs of going through an illness. This model, again, pertains to cancer. So one of the biggest unexpected costs of battling cancer is loss of income. Most people cannot work as they're going through the treatments like they were used to. Oftentimes, entire families have to miss work for a period of time because they're supporting the individual, the patient, the one that's ill as they're going through that battle with cancer. And then you have living expenses. Unfortunately, when you're going through an illness, we all know that bills do not go away. The third one down is called insurance limitations. This is one of the biggest unexpected costs of battling cancer. Insurance limitations is co-pays, deductibles, medicine charges. And the list goes on and on and on. And then you have the experimental treatments. And unfortunately, most major medical health insurance policies do not cover 100% of an experimental treatment. But that experimental treatment may save your life. So you have to afford it. It just means that after you go through it, you may have a big bill that you owe the hospital or that drug company. And then you have travel expenses to get the best treatment. Everybody's known somebody who's had to travel out of city or out of state multiple trips as they're going through an illness. A lot of those deal with cancer. Unfortunately, we don't have the specialists to treat every type of cancer right there in our local market. Most people have to go to a bigger city. A lot of people go to a Mayo Clinic, a St. Jude, MD Anderson in Houston, Texas, or one of the American Cancer Centers. And the list goes on and on. So what our company does, folks, is really straightforward. We pay benefits or cash. We pay money to our client. We don't pay the hospital. Let me reiterate, we do not pay the hospital. We pay the client. It's cash to a checking or savings account. We pay in addition to any other insurance the client owns. Most of our clients, from small business owners to medium business owners to the individual family or the individual or the single parent or the couple, all those are all categories of clients. Most of our clients already have great health, life, disability, home and auto. They have all those insurances in place. But very few of them have a backup plan if they went through a heart attack or a battle with cancer to pay for life back at home as they're going through that illness. That's where we fit in. Rates do not increase. In the hundreds of thousands, the millions of dollars that we paid to our clients, which, by the way, on average, our company, Family Heritage, pays out, on average, $500,000 a week to our clients. Families across the U.S. that are going through claims, that are in a time of need. So the rates never increase. The policy has no cap. No caps means no limits. The more they go through, the more we pay them. We're very proud of that feature. So folks, this slide represents how our products work. It's called a schedule of benefits. This is, again, just a snapshot of the cancer plan. It's a portion of the total benefit they get with our cancer policy. But to kind of paint a picture, if a client's diagnosed with internal cancer, I'm at the very top right now, 15 business days later, we pay or direct deposit $3,000 straight into their checking or savings account. Every benefit beyond that pays in addition to the previous benefit. Every day in the hospital, $450 a day. Every single day of radiation or chemo at the very bottom, $300 a day. There's a payout for every surgery. The point is, the more they go through, the more we pay them. We pay for travel expenses. We will reimburse a flight, every single flight if they had to fly out of state back and forth. We'll even pay for a family member to go with them. We'll pay up to $150 a night for a hotel. We'll reimburse 60 cents a mile for driving if they're driving and using their own vehicle, their own gas. The benefits go on and on and on. So this is the last slide I have to share with you from a product standpoint. And this is what makes our company completely unique and rare and different from everybody else in the industry. This is what gets business owners' attention. This is where people call us because they know somebody, they know a local business owner, or they know a local family that owns our policies, and they call us because of the uniqueness of our products. It's something people actually get excited to talk about. It's called return of premium. And what it means is if the client does not use their policy, but they keep it for 20 years, they pay monthly. They pay 12 months a year, and over the course of 20 years, they don't have to use it. What we do on that 20th year, if they stayed healthy and didn't use the policy, is we give the client what they paid in back. Hence the name return or refund of the client's premium. They pay in X, they don't use it, they get that exact amount right back in the form of a big check. So our prospects and our clients see this as a win-win. Folks, on one side, they get incredible protection and peace of mind and security and all that of an insurance, a supplemental coverage. On the other side, it's like a forced savings for their future, like a forced additional retirement plan. Okay, so moving on. Now we're going to change gears. I want to talk to you a little bit about our system. And it's typically our system and our compensation. Well, really three variables. System, how we sell, how we develop as professionals, how we get to the prospect. It's our system, the compensation, how we're paid. Is there stability? How long does it take to really generate a strong income and a consistent income? That's a big topic. And I'm very excited to talk to you about that. And the third thing is our training. Because again, most people have never done what we do. It's those three topics: system, compensation, the financial side, and the training and support and systems. Those are three areas a lot of the companies in our industry fall short on. They don't have duplicatable and strong systems. Therefore, it's hard to get to prospects. It's hard to feel like a professional. We do. They don't have strong financial opportunities. You have to sell a ton and grind and grind and grind. It takes months or years to build a client base and a referral base before you actually realize a decent income. That's not the case with us. Or, in addition to that, They only provide very minimal or inadequate training. It's a ton of companies in our industry. That's the biggest complaint I get whenever I'm talking to a very strong industry professional about coming over to work with our company. Somebody that has a background in the industry that's been successful, is they say, I didn't receive very much training, it wasn't thorough, it wasn't ongoing, and the support and the culture just wasn't there. I just felt like a number. I felt like the spaghetti on the wall. If I fell off, not a big deal. The whole revolving door concept. That's not our company. So let me start off with the system. Number one, I'm going to read from top to bottom. Every representative that starts with us, your mission, your job, what we mentor and we train you to do is develop as a professional in a 30-mile radius of where you live. This is not a road warrior traveling sales position. This becomes your local territory. You're not restricted to this area. We're not a company bound by brick walls and restrictions. It's a very open opportunity. But we're going to help you to maximize your time, and there's a market of people and businesses within a 30-mile radius of where you live that you'll never have to expand beyond that market. And folks, we do not build a business on family, friends, and personal networks. Your family and your friends and people you know should own the product, but your success is not driven or determined by who you know. When I got started, I didn't know anybody. I was from a small town south of Columbia. I got started in the city and surrounding markets of Columbia, Missouri. About 130,000 person population. A third of that are college students at University of Missouri. And I didn't know anybody. I didn't know any business owners. I didn't have a deep connection. I wasn't part of a BNI or a chamber group or anything like that. But I followed our company's system and I had success very, very quickly. And so we provide the systems. Part of our system is we offer and we provide 50 to 75 pre-qualified prospects per week. The majority of these are small business owners that have between 1 and 10 employees. That's the focus of the market that you're going to start with. That's a stepping stone to a much bigger opportunity, but that's where we start. And then we teach a system called pre-approach that provides ongoing pipeline management. We also provide the technology. And so every representative that starts with Zeal Financial, that starts with our company, receives an iPad. We train on the Sales Navigator app. It's a technology that allows you to stay systematic, that allows you to stay efficient with your time, allows you to plot out all your prospects, your referrals, your reservice appointments, etc. And in addition to that, we provide ongoing training through Reference USA and A to Z database. We have a system that's time tested and proven. It's worked over 25 years. And to put it into perspective, Family Heritage in their first 25 years has grown at a rate faster than what Aflac grew in their first 25 years. And so our systems obviously work. So again, that's an introduction into how we get started. So now we're going to change gears and talk about compensation for a couple of minutes. From top to bottom, these are my words. I call this the very best financial opportunity in America. The reason why is there's almost no capital investment, meaning most would say that some of the better financial opportunities in America are in owning a business because the freedom it provides and the growth opportunity and the income that owning your own business provides and the flexibility. The challenge with owning a business, for those of you that know anybody who has been wildly successful in owning a business, is they didn't start that way. There are no hand-me-down businesses. It starts off with typically a lot of capital invested, a very high-risk startup. And the challenge with starting a new business is typically you have to create a system, unless you have the capital to buy a franchise. So the opportunity for immediate cash flow usually isn't there. It takes an average of 3 to 7 years to have a positive return on your investment. And that's why most businesses don't make it. So what we offer, folks, is almost no capital invested with the opportunity of immediate cash flow. There's not it's a couple of day waiting period before one starts protecting families, servicing business owners, and getting the ball rolling. The next bullet point down, our average first year career rep is going to close 5 out of every 25 presentations given per week. So if you do the math, that's an average closing of about 20%. What that tells you is we are not looking for high-pressure salespeople. 5 out of 25 or 20% is not very strong. That's not a strong closing ratio. So our representatives don't sell a lot. So the way we pay, amongst most other things, is very unique as well. Our pay structure starts off with a weekly paycheck. It's a unique system called advance pay. Advance pay is very different from your traditional commission pay structures. So this is not your traditional commission pay structure. What the advance aspect does is it takes away the pressure to have to sell at a high volume. So what Family Heritage does is they pay weekly by advancing 7 months of commissions up front. So when you write a policy, it's 5 health questions, it's a 1-page application, it's not complex like health and property and casualty and life insurance. There's no DNA testing, there's no blood work or anything like that. It's very simple, it's a 5-minute process. And most of our representatives are writing e-apps or e-policies on their iPads. So it's an even simpler process. It's fail-proof. And so what our company does, though, is we only collect the first month of premium. It's an automatic payment that the customer provides through a checking or savings account. But what Family Heritage does is they pay us as the reps 7 months in advance. And so that gives us a stronger cash flow to continue to function on. And so again, the point is you don't have to sell very much to generate an immediate and strong income. On the next slide, I'll walk you through what the different levels within, or the different tiers within our corporate ladder, what on average our sales professionals are earning on an annual basis, our team leaders, our trainers, etc. So below that it says incentive and bonus structure. 100% lifetime vested in renewals after 5 years. And I italicize that because that's probably the most exciting aspect of this opportunity from a financial standpoint. What that means is if you work with Family Heritage for 5 years and then representing their products and then you quit, or anytime after 5 years and you move on, you do not represent the products of the company anymore, we will continue to pay you for the lifetime of the policies you sold over that career. You literally receive a monthly settlement check on the 15th of the month for the life of that policy. And folks, our clients stick with the policy for many, many, many years. Therefore, our representatives get paid for many, many, many years for what they did in the past. We offer 3 to 5 incentive and bonus trips per year, both international and domestic. And I'm not talking about just to Mexico. We go to places like Costa Rica, Italy, London, Canada. I know Canada's not too exciting, but we go to the beautiful areas within Canada. And so we take amazing international and domestic U.S. trips, paid for by the company on an annual basis. We offer monthly cash bonuses from $500 to $5,000 per month, and they're very achievable. And the last but certainly not least, we offer stock and ownership opportunities in our parent company within Torchmark with no waiting or vesting period. The same stock that Warren Buffett can buy on the public market, the same stock you or I could go buy in the public market, our company gives us ownership of our parent company of Torchmark for simply doing our job as we progress. Okay, so moving on. We're almost wrapping things up, so thanks for bearing with me. So training and advancement. We're very proud of our training. We put a lot of energy, there's a lot of thought, and a lot of time and resource that goes into our training with every new representative. So if selected, and if we decide to partner up and move forward, the very first thing that we do is send you to Sales Academy. We have 2 full-time locations of Sales Academy, one in Nashville, one in Dallas. It's like boot camp for brand new sales professionals. So we start with the fundamental basics. We call it the cycle of selling. We teach you the underwriting process. We give you all the product knowledge, etc., etc. It lasts 4 days. It's a Monday through a Thursday. We pay for your hotel. We even cater in the meals. And then Friday out of Sales Academy, you're back at home, and we start field training. This is day 1 of field training. Field training is belly-to-belly personal development that goes on for the next 7 to 10 days with what we call a certified field trainer. We abbreviate that as CFT. And this is where you're actually in your local community for a few days. You're in your trainer's territory for a few days. It's monkey see, monkey do. It's the actual real-world application of what you just learned over the last 4 days of Sales Academy. Folks, advancement is at your pace. Beyond Sales Academy and beyond field training, we start a 16-week cycle or a 16-week series of ongoing webinar training. And that's mixed in with training at your local office as well. So we offer training on Monday mornings at your local office, and then Friday mornings on a webinar training, a live company-sponsored webinar training. So the training is ongoing. That allows you the opportunity for continual advancement and growth. And so let me talk about the different positions and the different income opportunities. As a sales representative, the average annual income for a brand new sales representative with our company is $53,000 net. Average obviously implies some do better, some do worse. We have literally some sales representatives in their first year that do not come from an industry or a background doing what our company does. Some brand new sales representatives that earn and make over $150,000, $160,000, $170,000 in their first year just selling and servicing our product. And we have others that make $30,000 or $32,000. So the average is $53K. CFT is our certified field trainers. They make a little bit more than our sales representatives. They invest a little bit more into new representatives, and that's why. So their average annual income is right around $65,000. Our team leaders lead organizations of 3 to 30 reps. Their average income is over $100K. And our regional team leaders is a highly accomplished team leader that's leading and developing a sales organization of people, a very sizable organization. Their average annual income within our agency is $180K. And then our sales directors and agency owners, their average annual income is $250,000 to $1 million. And that's where you have the opportunity to run your own agency. The point of me sharing the advancement opportunity with you is this. It is 100% at your pace. Within our very open market that we work in, that you reside in, with our systems of training and ongoing advancement, ongoing mentorship and development, anybody can advance into the position as team leader, trainer, sales director, agency owner, the position that you so choose at your pace with no restrictions other than you. So let me wrap things up and tie it all together. So this is the next step in a homework assignment. The next step is really straightforward, folks. You're going to look for a call from myself. So please write down my name. It's George Zimney, or a regional recruiter more with a local area code to your market. And please note, this is very important. If you do not receive a call within the next 12 hours, please call me directly at 573-808-4818. On average, 1 out of 30 or 40 or 50 resumes will get lost in translation. We work and are developing a very wide geography, a wide set of markets. And so again, it's we do our honest best to get back to every interested candidate in a very timely fashion, but sometimes it's not quick enough. So feel free to give me a call. Feel free to be proactive and say, hey, George, I was on the corporate spotlight. I haven't received a call back yet. I'm very interested in learning more. I'd like to set up an interview. Can we make that happen? I'll have a few questions for you. I want to learn a little bit more about you as the candidate. All I know about you is what's on your resume. You know about 30, 35 minutes of information about us. A lot of you have already been to the websites. I haven't spoken with hardly any of you, so I don't know very much about you. So I want to learn a little bit more about you. The homework assignment is very straightforward, and it's for your benefit and the benefit of the interview. It's to visit the 3 websites in the middle of your screen, zealfinance.com, fhlcareers.com, and facebook.com/Zeal Financial Group. And so if we do end up setting up an interview for the next day or the day to follow, the homework assignment is to visit those 3 websites. Develop a list of written questions. Please take a lot of notes. The very first question we ask you in an interview is tell me what you took away or what you took notes on in reference to the websites and the Facebook page. So we want to know how seriously you're taking this interview and how much research and time you've invested into researching and looking into our company. So folks, I greatly appreciate your time. Let me turn back on the webcam there. There we go. Hey everybody, good to see you again. I think I was frozen for hopefully the entirety of the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your consideration. Again, I'm George Zimney, president and founder of Zeal Financial Group. We represent a great parent company with family heritage, and we're all under the Torchmark, the publicly Torchmark, public traded company Torchmark's umbrella, and we're very excited that you're checking out our company. Again, look for a call back here shortly from myself or a regional recruiter. If you don't get that call back, please call me directly by the end of the day today or the first part of the next day. Again, I appreciate your time today. Respect each and every one of you. God bless you, and we'll talk to you very soon. Thanks again.